so welcome back on the channel. Fabrizio Romano here as always to update you on the transfer market. Today from Miami, Flo Brickell to bring you all the latest on the big names, the big news. And so let's jump into it from Miami, Flo Brickell together. And here we are, guys, with the news. We are on the weekend, but there is always movement, the World Cup and then the games. So for sure there is going to be things happening as always. And here on the channel you can find absolutely everything. So remember to subscribe to be part of the family every single day here on YouTube. Just starting from some piece of news around, I wanted to tell you. So Antonin Kinski, the goalkeeper of Tottenham, set to sign a new 5-year deal at the club with improved salary. Why signing a new contract? He was already on a long-term deal at Spurs, because Tottenham want to show trust in the player. So Guglielmo Vicario will be leaving Tottenham this summer. He is currently considered the player expected to leave. They signed Dubravka as new backup goalkeeper, and so in the idea of Roberto De Zerbi, as I always told you, is going to be Kinski, first goalkeeper, Dubravka, second goalkeeper, and then there is going to be Guglielmo Vicario leaving the club with interest from Italy. Then on Tottenham, also wanted to add one more thing. I saw some links with Udoge, Italian clubs and more. Destiny Udoge is not leaving Tottenham. Considered as a crucial player by Roberto De Zerbi, seen as a big part of the project, and so Destiny Udoge stays at Tottenham for sure, and Roberto De Zerbi believes the potential of the Italian player is still absolutely huge. And then let me mention Alaki, because there is a here we go for them, and it's for a very talented Armenian player linked with several clubs in the Premier League in Italy, and not only. Edward Spertzian, one of the best talents produced by Armenia in the recent years, is joining Alaki. It's a here we go, it's a done deal, closed by director Rui Pedro Braz in the last 24 hours, medical for the player very soon. Alaki will pay $25 million to Krasnodar, and so Spertzian is joining Alaki in a very interesting move for a very interesting talent. But probably the most interesting news of the day is coming out of nowhere and really unexpected. The surprise signing in midfield for Chelsea could be Granit Xhaka. Yes, because the Swiss midfielder from Sunderland has decided to make very clear to the club his desire. He wants to go to Chelsea. Why Chelsea? One name, Xabi Alonso. The relationship between Xabi Alonso and Granit Xhaka is simply excellent. They love each other, there is a great feeling. Xabi Alonso wants to have this kind of leader. I told you at the beginning of the summer transfer window, Chelsea will also go in the direction of, as always, talented players, young players. Marco Palestra, done deal, signed, 6-year contract, 1-year option, 55 million euros plus to Atalanta. So Palestra is a new Chelsea player, is a huge talent. But also experienced players to be added to their squad to change a bit the strategy. And about experienced players, Granit Xhaka wants to go to Chelsea. He already told via his agents to Sunderland his desire to, first of all, move back to London. It's a personal desire of the player with his family. He used to live in London, obviously, when he was playing for Arsenal, and he wants to go back to London with his family, with his wife. So it's the desire of Granit Xhaka. Second, Xabi Alonso. The relationship is fantastic. They were together at Bayer Leverkusen, winning together, showing a perfect match. Granit Xhaka was the manager on the pitch for Xabi Alonso. And so to have Granit Xhaka for Xabi is absolutely considered as a priority in this summer transfer window. Now, it depends on club to club. It depends on what's going to happen between Chelsea and Sunderland in terms of conversations. But Granit Xhaka already told Chelsea that he wants to go back to London and he wants to make this move happen. He wants to make this move happen in any case. So it's not going to be about the length of the contract, the salary. Granit Xhaka is prepared to accept the Chelsea contract conditions. Personal terms will not be a problem. Now it's on club to club, because Sunderland were planning their season 26-27 with Granit Xhaka as a crucial player for Régis Lebris. And so obviously to lose Xhaka, it's a bad news for Sunderland. They didn't want him to go. So let's see now what happens club to club. But Chelsea are on it. The conversation is underway, and Granit Xhaka could be the surprise signing for the Blues in midfield. So the deal is on. The deal is the surprise of the day for Granit Xhaka and Chelsea. Talking about Chelsea, is not a surprise if you follow the channel, the movement around Trevoh Chalobah. I told you exclusively 4 days ago, Chelsea have put in a bid for Trevoh Chalobah. Como have put in a bid to Chelsea for Trevoh Chalobah. That bid from Como, Italy, and also Champions League club, is 25 million euros, rejected by Chelsea. Chelsea want more. Chelsea start around 40 million euros to close around 35, 30 plus 5, something around that. So this could be the value of Trevoh Chalobah. Now, obviously, Como are still there. Como want to sign a top centre-back because they're going to play Champions League football and to have not just Nico Paz, not just important players up front, but also to add a top centre-back is a priority. So the conversation is underway for Trevoh Chalobah, but it's not only Como, because I told you, keep an eye also on Inter. I told you in a video 4 days ago that Chelsea are not accepting 25 million euros from Como for Trevoh Chalobah. Why? Because they feel there are more clubs. Inter are one of them. Inter are considering Chalobah. At the moment, he's not guaranteed target, he's not close, he's not advanced, but he's one of the players under consideration by Inter, a player who was already appreciated years ago by Inter director Ausilio, and so could be an option for Inter. And then there are more clubs calling. So Chelsea feel there could be several clubs at the table for Chalobah. This is why they are not accepting 25 million euros from Como. I can tell you that the player is keen on a move to Italy. Como, Inter, he would like to try an experience in Serie A, and so there could be movement around Trevoh Chalobah. One to watch for sure. Then I wanted to tell you more, guys, on 2 more stories. One is exclusive, and remember this name, Magnus Akliouche, the talent from Monaco, because Paris Saint-Germain are pushing to sign him. Exclusive news from the morning, Paris Saint-Germain are going very strong for Akliouche. Paris Saint-Germain are working on this deal, and they are leading the race to sign Magnus Akliouche. Why pushing? Because there are more clubs interested. 2 clubs from Premier League have already made contact to try understand the space to enter and try negotiate for Magnus Akliouche, but now what I can tell you is very clear that the idea at Paris Saint-Germain is to add one more French talent, one more French player, and that player is Magnus Akliouche. So keep an eye on this boy, because there is movement around him, and because I think Paris Saint-Germain will go strong for him. Let me finish by mentioning all your questions, guys, on Julian Alvarez, because I'm receiving so many questions. Is something changing? Is something moving? What's going on with Barcelona? Guys, in the mind of the player, as of now, end of June, then the market is still long, but in the mind of the player, there is still Barcelona. So Julian Alvarez is still waiting for Barcelona, is still hoping for Barcelona. At the same time, from Julian Alvarez's statement in public to the recent hours, Atletico Madrid have not changed their stance. Atletico Madrid keep telling those close to Julian Alvarez, keep telling the player, because the player is directly talking to directors, to all the important people at the club. Atletico keep telling him that Barcelona, they don't want to sell the player to them. So Atletico are still being strong in this negotiation, while Julián is still giving priority to Barcelona and waiting Barcelona. Then, will the doors open to other clubs if he can't join Barça? We will see later in the market. But at this stage of the market, Julián still wants to wait and hope for Barcelona. And so, guys, let me your thoughts on all these stories. As always, here on the channel, many movements. There is going to be more overnight, so stay tuned. Remember to like this video, turn on the notification bell, subscribe to the channel, and let me know your opinion on all these names, from Akliouche to Julián, Xhaka, Chelsea. It's a surprise, and then Chalobah and more. See you soon.